Core TV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station.
Good morning once again to you. I am Adetunji, and it is my pleasure to welcome you on our flagship program, Wednesday edition of Core Digest. And if there is anything we're talking about today, we're talking about the Chibok girls, we're talking about the security of the nation Nigeria, what we are doing as a nation to go against the disintegration of this nation. We want to remain a nation, the country Nigeria, irrespective of our ethnic or regional interests. We want to remain as a nation, as one people who stand up for each other, no matter the color of our skin, no matter the language we speak, no matter our religious affiliation. And that is why we've seen it as been important to bring our guests into the studio this morning to talk about the fate of these Chibok girls and how their rescue or they're remaining in the hands of their abductors, what this says about our country, Nigeria, and the security situation in the nation. We have retired Colonel Gabriel Adetunji Ajayi in the studio this morning, and Mr. Olatubosun Aihonsuand, a political affairs analyst. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you for honoring our invitation.
It's my pleasure.
When this whole thing started on April 14, when over 200 girls were taken away from their dormitories in Chibok, Borno State, we saw lots of protests greeting that. We saw so many women and men on the street. But 58 days after, we're seeing these protests reducing. We're seeing less and less of protesting groups coming on the street. The question is, are we losing hope on these girls? What is the fate of these girls 58 days after their abduction, given all the situations on ground? I want to start with the retired colonel.
Well, I thank you for giving me the honor to start first. However, I believe that the professor, the political science professor, will have been in the best position to actually anchor that aspect, because it's more of the work of a psychologist than that of an army general.
No, however, you used to be a retired general, and we've had you for a while on the program, and we saw some threats that you made that if the government says, let's go to the Sambisa forest, we're going to do that. Yeah. I'm asking, what is happening to that spirit that people had when this thing was fresh?
Well, so this is a very trying time for the leadership of Nigeria, for the whole of Nigeria, and the biological parents of these children. It's a very trying time. And such a trying time, many things do happen. You see, it is not that people are losing interest in the protest or in the struggle to get these children out of the claws of the lion. It is just human, you know, just human. When people have been protesting and protesting and protesting, and it appears that they could not see what they regard as some actions, you know, they couldn't see what they expect to see. Then they have to relax. And at any rate, going to Abuja to protest or protesting in Lagos, Ibadan, would really not bring back these children to us. So it is not that people are losing. Every day we pray in our church. We pray and pray and pray for the safe recovery of these children. They should not be left to be spoils of war. They are not the cause of the problem. But whosoever devised this in the camp of the Boko Haram was a very good strategist, because once he's been able to slow down the fight against Boko Haram, and the whole thing now is about rescuing our girls, no longer the fight. Were it to be me, I would be much more concerned about how to knock off the leadership of the Boko Haram, not the euphoria or the hysteria about bring back again. Because even if we bring these people back, they could still carry out operation and carry other ladies into captivity. What should be our real concern is how to knock off the leadership of Boko Haram and degrade the capacity of the insurgents, to be unable to carry out other operations. America fought Iraq, they fought in Iraq, they fought in Afghanistan. They were not able to do much to bring down the operation of Al-Qaeda until the leadership was neutralized. Today, the Taliban is as strong as it was when America invaded Afghanistan. Why? Because Mullah Omar and his group are still intact. In fact, they forced America to release some of their hefty men from Guantanamo Bay prison in Cuba. So, which means their operation is still intact. Today, what I expected that we should have taken some calculated and uncalculated risks in this matter. Look, counter-revolutionary warfare is being fought in Nigeria as a conventional counter-revolutionary warfare. We need to be unconventional. You need to be illegal in illegality. This is not a child's play. These children have been carried away 50 days. They could have been indoctrinated. You see, they could have been made to, the hound, they will have made to drink. So that in case, by the time we get this back, these ladies, these girls back, they will be worse for us. The more they stay, the more they become worse for us to handle. Because they could have been indoctrinated, they could have been turned around, and so on. These are part of insurgency tactics. So it is not that Nigerians are getting tired. No, nobody. All my children are female children. How can I hear about these children and I will get bored about the struggle to get them free? What of it? My first daughter started school in 1977 in Maiduguri. I had my second daughter in Maiduguri, 1979. The same Maiduguri. It could have been my daughters. It could have been. So
when the colonel was speaking, and he mentioned the fact that protests would not bring these girls back. But is that not a way of shutting the people, shutting their voices? Because at a point, we all, because of the noise that was being made by the people, we all became hopeful. It was that same noise that brought the attention of the international community. If at this point, 58 days, we've still not found this girl, and these girls rather, and at this point we're saying that is not what will bring the girls back, are you supporting in saying that people are not actually losing hope on this fight against the rescue mission of these girls?
Well, first and foremost, I believe that protests can take various shades and dimensions. When you protest, you are expressing an opinion. It depends on the platform that you are actually activating or using to express that opinion. In fact, I was going somewhere some time ago, and I saw "Bring Back Our Girls." I was not expecting to see it there. That was a form of protest, an opinion that was being expressed by certain individuals or groups in that particular environment. You see our newspapers, bring up our girls. You see our television stations, bring up our girls, where you are not actually expecting to see, those kind of opinion. Bring back our girls, bring back our girls. But these are quite different from street protest. Where street protest may be more effective because it will bring government attention more to the front burner than just putting it somewhere in a newspaper. Bring back our girls, and it may not really carry much weight than when you see people, mass of people, hundreds in their tens, in their hundreds marching on the street, expressing opinion about this the precarious situation that these girls have found themselves. But I want to bring it back to our culture as a nation. Now we have a culture of the longer something tarries, the longer a particular clamor for something, then the more it fades away from people's mind, especially when you are not getting results. Now, do we have a government that is actually responsive? Do we have a government that is actually touched by the plight of the parents of these girls? Do we have a government that is actually that actually feel the pulse? That is the essence. All the protests that we have had so far, how have they gone in impacting on the response or responses of government to at least let us know how far they have gone in their effort to get these girls out of where they are being held incommunicado. So I want to say that it is not just enough to have protests, but how effective are these protests? And then I was also telling somebody some time ago that when these protests actually started, it was about 2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks after these girls have been abducted, if not more than 2 weeks. When there was a ferry disaster that involved in Korea recently, the government response was immediate. Though, of course, this thing happened on the water and a lot of people drowned and they died. But government response was immediate. Was our own government response immediate when these girls, over 200 of them, were abducted? It was after 2-3 weeks that this protest started gathering momentum and steam. When these girls could have been taken across the shores, across the borders of Nigeria. And these girls were actually abducted where there was a state of emergency, where we believe that soldiers should be manning all our security posts, or should be patrolling our borders, where we expect our military to be actually on ground. It was after 2 or 3 weeks that we felt that, oh, let us begin to organize protests. It seems government is not doing enough. And again, do you know, up till today, after almost 2 months, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, the president of the country, President Goodluck Jonathan, has not deemed it fit to visit Chibok.
I'll take it up from there because retired Colonel, the absence of the president in Chibok, when I mean the absence, I mean not visiting Chibok. You know, there was a time we heard about the news of the president wanting to visit Chibok, and all of a sudden, Reuben Abati came out to say there was never a planned visit. Even when we heard about the advance team landing in Borno State ahead of the president's visit, that was during the summit in France with other African presidents. The president came out to say his visits to Chibok is not what is important because that will not bring back the girls. At this point, after so many days and we've not found those girls, do you feel the president should still take that stand on not visiting them, of not saying categorical statements about the situation of the parents and the children?
Well, President Goodluck Jonathan is the President and Commander-in-Chief Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The buck stops at his table. He has decided, and that is the matter. As a citizen, as a soldier, if the President tells me, I want to visit Ogere, and we have security reports that Ogere would not be a warm welcome for the President, and the President said, look, General, I must be in Ogere, it then becomes my responsibility to make sure that the President safely visit Ogere. There may be no one welcome, but it's now my duty. Sorry, when late Papa De Farati was governor of Ondo State, many times the police would tell him that he should not visit particular area. I will tell Papa, if you are unable to visit any place in Ondo State, then you are not governing that place. You tell the Commissioner of Police, I must be in this place. And how he does it is his responsibility. So, if the President decides that he wants to go to Chibok, no general, no intelligence director could tell him, you cannot go there. But they could keep the going secret. Whoever leaked out the plan must have been the one to blame in this circumstance, because I believe that the president might have given the order that he wants to finish that place, and it was a made perfect security arrangement. How embarrassing would it have been if the president played a short act within the territory of Nigeria? So long as the information was prematurely leaked out, it became a difficult thing. President Obama visited Afghanistan many times. You don't hear it on the CNN, on the ajayi or whatever, until he has landed, or possibly he has taken off from there, or when he's eating with the soldiers. That way you see. So we have a culture of security unconsciousness in Nigeria, and so we cause a lot of security breaches. As a matter of fact, why the president? I've said it a long time ago when the Boko Haram fighting was intense. I said if I were president of Nigeria, I would go and hold meeting with the Borno leaders in Gomboru, in the palace of the emir. I just give the order to the chief of defense staff, give the order to chief of army staff, I want to be here. That is our work. To make him to be there, whatever it will cost, we get him there.
Some might think that the way you talk with passion about how the president as the commander-in-chief can actually give orders and it's been carried out or not being carried out, which you already established that they cannot say no to the orders of the president if he insists. And you're saying that it's just for a command to go out and it can get done, like holding meetings. Some might well argue that maybe you are out of tune with the realities of things as it is in the military in the present-day Nigeria. Given the fact that you've been retired for a number of years, will you say things are still the same and orders can be carried out just exactly the same way as when you were in office?
I don't think the standing operational procedure in the armed forces has changed. I don't think the standing orders have changed. The channel of command, control, movement, operation cannot change. Otherwise, the Nigerian military will not be able to fall in line with the operations of the United Nations. When they go there, if there's a change in our own, the point remains that, whatever a soldier has in mind, you see, that he should not betray sentiments at all. That is, the military does not betray sentiment. Even if your child is being killed like this, you face the operation. You don't have to say, oh, it is my child there. And I don't believe it has changed because the training system remains the same. You have to go through the fire. You have to go through the drill. You have to sleep in the forest. You have to dig or die. It's the same. I don't believe. You see, civilian authority consider a lot of things. They don't take risk. No. Civilian regime won't take risk. They consider a lot of things. So, political consideration, a friend today, an enemy today becomes a friend tomorrow in the political arena. So, you don't hit somebody on the head because he's your enemy today, tomorrow he becomes the friend. So, the consideration in a political setting is different from the consideration in a military setting. I don't think that the face of the military has changed from what it was when I was there.
So it could as well be politics playing and delaying a whole lot of things?
Of course, a lot of politics going on. I tell you, if Uduma decide to declare for another party today from PDP, he will be welcome and he will become a saint. The man that is being tried for being an accomplice of Boko Haram. If he changes, today, a friend could be turned to enemy in politics tomorrow. Tomorrow, an enemy comes and becomes the friend. So it's quite difficult politically to take drastic action and to do certain things. You have to consider. You don't know what happens tomorrow. And the ultimate aim is to have the political leverage over your opponents. So they're not talking of military leverage now. I believe that if there is any doubt about the loyalty of any officer or soldier, the person, this loyalty is a punishable offense. You can be court-martialed for it. They say, people run away from the battlefield. It's a court-martial offense, punishable by death. They say here somebody was hammering, there was mutiny, Soldiers know the meaning of mutiny. His punishment is by death. Then how will soldiers do that if they know they cannot succeed? For mutiny to succeed, you have to be victorious and impose your own will. If it fails, it's death by firing squad. Then how will they have for a soldier just because they know the consequences? I believe nothing has changed in the military because it cannot change. You know, it can't change. There is no question. If there's anybody who is a suspect, who they feel, you know, I read a lot of things in the papers, a lot of speculation. I was inside this system for 30 years. And I know the evils there. And I know, but as far as operations are concerned, soldiers could be united because you are your brother's keeper. The next man.
Let's take this discussion back a little. When you were talking about the rescue of these girls, then, if you were to be at a position where you take the decision as to what goes on from here, you'd rather go for the attack of these insurgents rather than focus too much on the rescue of these girls. But the question is, if we get this girl rescued, is that not a way forward in conquering these insurgents? Let me ask Mr. Olatubosun now. Can we actually separate the fight against terrorism from the rescue of these abducted girls?
Well, they are inseparable. They are inseparable because these girls were actually abducted as a result of insecurity. These girls were abducted from an environment that was not well secured. Actually, when people were talking about Save Our Schools initiative, people were trying to pull money together to provide security for our schools. Well, I was looking at that initiative. I said, this is a bit not being realistic in the sense that the school. What happens to the school is a reflection of the general insecurity in society. It will be more reasonable in the context we are talking about if we are talking about securing the society. Because if you say you want to secure schools, especially schools that have boarding facilities, what of schools that do not have boarding facilities, where you have school students that are day students? Now, these are students who move from their homes every day to school and from their school back home. Can they be kidnapped while in transit? Then secondly, lately, we should be maybe a breaking news, or not so a breaking news now, but it happened recently. You must have been aware, you must be aware of this, that about 20 young women, young mothers, have just been abducted. It's a reflection of the insecurity in society we are talking about. So instead of talking about Save Our School initiative, we're talking about Save Our Society initiative. Now, coming back to whether we can separate the rescue of these girls from the fight against terrorism, we cannot, because it is just one of the evils that the Boko Haram have perpetrated. A lot of all these cases of suicide bombings here and there, cases of villages being attacked, people are being killed without. I mean, it's quite alarming, and I begin to wonder whether we can actually say that these people are terrorists, because terrorists they are faceless organizations.
So, but if you're doubting them being terrorists, what do you think they are?
I'm coming. What I'm trying to say is that they are more. I see them as more of rebels, because they have footholds. They have footholds in some parts of the country. In 3 states now, we have been told that 3 states they have operational bases where they have strongholds. These are the states that we have had emergency rule for over a year. We believe that they have footholds, they have stronghold in those states. Normally, if you are a terrorist organization, you find it difficult to trace where they are actually operating from. They hit and run. Terrorists hit and run. But this Boko Haram element, they have bases. We have been told that they are actually their strongest operational base is Sambisa Forest.
Let me try to.
It's Sambisa Forest.
Please, let him finish. We'll get back to you.
It's Sambisa Forest. So if you look at what's happening in some other part of Africa, like in Sudan and Central African Republic, where we have civil war, full-blown civil war now in Central African Republic, and that was what led to the balkanization of Sudan, old Sudan, now where we now have Sudan and South Sudan. You see, you have people that, of course, they are using terrorist means, terrorist method, but they are gradually becoming rebels because they have operational bases where we have been told that they have communities where they have virtually all the amenities that you have in a normal society. You have pipe-borne water, you have electricity, they have and so power generators and so on and so forth. So they are becoming more of rebels than the Taliban we have in Afghanistan. So the problem now is because we have allowed this thing to graduate to this level because initially we thought it will fizzle out. In fact, somebody, a respected elder statesman said, we used to have the Maitasini problem and it fizzled away. But I don't want to begin to compare this to Maitasini. This Boko Haram element, in fact, they are more sophisticated in terms operationally, and then there is serious element of politics in this particular cause. So we may not begin to see this as a Maitasini, another Maitasini. This has become more of a group that they have rehearsed their methods. They are now acting out a script. And the
retired colonel seem to disagree with you on some issues.
No, I don't. I'm a professor. Just a layman to describe with a professor, that would be too high. Now, the point I wanted to go is not that I'm not saying the issue of Chibok kidnap should be separated from the operation. I am saying that the tempo of the operation has gone down. The phase now is to the Chibok guy, where the Boko Haram people have now raised the bar. They now went into the offensive. So what I'm saying is that why to be really why people are talking about Chibok this, Chibok there. I will go in for the hardcore of Boko Haram. Mau Mau operation in Kenya never ended until some few courageous men went after the leadership of that organization.
If you call going after Boko Haram itself hardcore, that means rescue should be a little bit simpler in carrying out than if we could not even rescue a number of girls. How can we?
You cannot rescue somebody if we are surrendered here now with rifle and they put explosive around. You know that this place will blow up. Nobody will attempt to come and rescue her by force from here. They will have to follow some due things. If we put so much pressure on them, after them, maybe we have to negotiate with Niger, Chad, and Cameroon, especially the ungoverned areas of this country, for a minute to go in there. And because I believe that their bases are not in Nigeria, where you have this, their base is not Sambisa Forest. It must be a forward operation base. Nobody will kidnap women and keep them in their strong point. It's not possible. So, and like the Yoruba people say, they say the masquerade that is dancing on the water, the drummer is under the water. If people are coming from somewhere to hit in the town, to kill people, the controllers are in the town. If the people are going from the town to fight in the bush, the controller are in the bush. So the puppeteers for Boko Haram are in the towns. And like I said, it is very difficult to go after these people. For this, I'll give one example. The now new emir of Kano, who was governor of Central Bank, the Department of State Security said they have information concerning him. And so you didn't allow them to go ahead. They went to court and court said they should never ask him a question about it. And everybody kept quiet because he belonged to the side we like. Everybody kept quiet. And you want the security people to continue to be working? That's not even the point I'm raising at. If we can be able to put pressure on Boko Haram leadership, they will soft pedal. If we say we are negotiating, it means that we either do like the way the Americans did for their sergeant, give some of the top leaders of Boko Haram out and get the ladies back. Why again they go in for another set of ladies? Because you cannot protect all the schools within the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You can't protect everywhere. You require the Army of United Nations to do that. And we cannot get it. So the point is that hitting the Boko Haram should be the strategy to get these ladies out. In fact, believe you me, the kidnap is an attack on the heart of the security of Nigeria. The attack on the heart. Within 12 hours of this, when I were to Chief Army Staff, we will have pursued. Everything in the military will go after that thing. Everything will go after it. If possible, we will go far around the other republic, get them out. What I'm trying to say is that we have slept on our right. What we are discussing now is afterthought. The girls are safely tucked in the Boko Haram hermitage. You know, we are talking of rescuing them. The commandos who came from Israel to Entebbe to rescue the kidnapped people had proper intelligence. I saw they were interrogating a particular woman, was a hostess, you know, in the plane. They said they put explosive inside containers around them. So there was somebody who wanted to fall upon a carton. The carton just split over. So the lady told the intelligent person that story. From that, they could know that at least that particular side, no explosive inside the carton. Because if there were explosives inside, the carton will not fly off like that when someone fell on it. So to go and carry on rescue, you know, they are going to have a high level of intelligence. What we are having, 3 things drive what is going on: weapon, money, and ideology. In this case, it is religion. Other reasons for this could be tribal, ethnic, nationalism. But in the case of Boko Haram, it is religion that is driving it. And it's so difficult to deal with any problem that has religious undertone. I trained in Pakistan. I trained in Pakistan. I'm coming.
Retired Colonel, of course you will continue. You will continue with that line of thought. Because over time, we need to take a short break on the program Court Digest. You know, this is the time where you listen to arguments, especially coming from a retired colonel, and when it makes it look as if just an order given with the right heart and the right intention could actually fish out these insurgents. The question on our mind is, if a command could actually get us what our desires are that easily, why is it not happening the way we want it? That means, why are we not having those girls back? Why, as a country, Nigeria, not conquered insurgents, if really the military, according to their training, can actually get these girls back? Not only this, we're talking about the international relationship we've had, ships we've had with the countries like France, countries like the United States. At a point when negotiation came up as an option, we had a country like US saying that we should not negotiate with terrorists. But there was a funny twist just a few days after, when United States itself actually exchanged some Talibans for their own soldier. We'll be back on Core Digest because we still have more to discuss. And we still have our guests in the studio, even after now, retired Colonel Gabriel Adetunji Ajayi and Professor Olatubosun, also a political affairs analyst. We'll take a short break for the news at 10 and we'll be back on the program. Thank you for being there.
Nigerians continue to
Tonight, the city of Lagos
There is still a poor level of
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa, we break the news.
one Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News.
Welcome to Core TV.
A 24-hour news station.